Okay, let's start our today's webinar. Once again, good morning, everyone. My name is Anna Bogac, and I'm working in the University of Social Science from Poland. And today we meet here to discuss in details one of the modules prepared as our training course for teachers who teach children with dyslexia. And this course was created under the umbrella of founded by Erasmus LEXIS Project. The full name of the project is Supporting English Language Teachers to Upgrade Teaching and Learning of Children with Dyslexia through the integration of emerging technologies and the acquisition of digital skills. The title itself is quite long, but I believe it describes in details what we are doing in this project. In a minute, I will give you the short introduction. For those who we met on the first webinar, it will be a small repetition, but for people who join us for the first time, I believe it will be the precious information. Today's webinar will be conducted. I will just give the small introduction about the project and the training path itself. But today's webinar, the most important part about adjusting the learning content to dyslexic learners will be conducted for one of our project partners, the Third Regional Center for the Design of Education in Primary and Secondary Schools in Northern Greece. So in a minute, you will have an opportunity to gather some knowledge for people who are really in the topic and the real professionals. So that just a short introduction. As I said, the agenda of today's webinar will be, as you can see on the slide. We will start with a brief introduction of the project and the course itself. And later on, together with our friends from Greece, we will discuss the core topic of today's, how to adjust our learning content for dyslexic learners. The general objective of LEXIS project is to ensure the participation of children in English learning, the dyslexic children in learning English, and to help English first language teachers to meet their specific needs, and also to integrate emerging technologies and to adapt new methodologies into their working practices, daily working practices. So as mentioned, as already mentioned, our target groups are teachers who teach English as a first language, also other language experts, speech therapists, and also parents, because for parents we also prepare some materials, and I will tell you a bit more later on about it. Our consortium is created by 7 organizations from Greece, Poland, Cyprus, Romania, and Czech Republic. I believe all the partners are here. If you would like to reach us somehow, please be welcome. I have already said a bit about the general objective of the project. So the main topics of our interests are the emerging technologies, the new methodologies in teaching and learning, and also introducing the gamification as a principle in learning. And all of that we try to implement to ensure the access and participation of children with dyslexia in the learning process. And to be short, just to help the dyslexic students to learn the language more easier. Our project is developed into 4 phases. First of all, we start with some research and analysis. We map the good practices existing in our countries. Also, we conducted the focus groups and surveys with English learning English teachers and also with parents. We prepared the toolbank and the syllabus. And the syllabus is based on the second stage of our project, which still is, let's say, designing and development of the materials. On that stage, we provided and we developed the course, which part of you will have the chance to see in a moment. Also, on this stage, we developed a booklet, and soon we will provide also the checklist and the student kit. The next stage of the project will be provided all the target group members with the platform and some guidelines for teachers how to use this platform and all these new technologies in teaching and learning. And last but not least, I believe that that's the most important part of our project. We will implement what we have developed into practice through piloting process, through workshops, also through the campaign. As mentioned, based off the syllabus we designed on the first stage, we developed the modular course for teachers. And first of all, the course will provide you, the teachers, with the basic information on dyslexia. It will also help you to establish the strategies and some rules regarding adjusting requirements and appropriate lesson organization, which hope we will have a chance to get to know more in a moment. And last but not least, the course will help with introduce you the digital skills into teaching practices. Then you can benefit, I believe, a lot while in this course, even if you are working for many years with children, and I believe you will have a chance to get to know more in a moment. Also, as I mentioned a moment before, we developed the booklet, and the booklet includes some tips and tricks both for parents and for teachers how to work with dyslexic children. Now we are in the process of developing the last two activities, which is the checklist and the teaching kit for children with dyslexia. All of these materials will be soon or already are available on our project website. So I strongly invite you to visit our social media, our website, to get to know more about the project. And that's it for me. Thank you very much. I believe now you have some more detailed idea what the project itself is about. And now I want to give the floor to our friends from Greece, who will bring you deeper into the topic of adjusting the learning content.
Hello, Glykeria Kylikli is going to do the presentation. So Anna, if you want to make her presenter.
You have a possibility to share the screen. Sorry, you are unmuted.
Hello from Greece. Hello from Thessaloniki. Hello, Glykeria.
Hello. Just let me adjust my screen. Okay. And I think that you can, and I have shared my screen. No. Okay, I'm good. Now, I'm here on behalf of the 3rd Regional Center for the Design of Education in Primary and Secondary Education in Northern Greece. And as a long-suffering mom of a dyslexic boy, I'm so glad that I can take part in this project as a presenter, because this has benefited me greatly. Although the years, the primary and the secondary education years of my son were a living nightmare, I feel that research and practice gains ground, and this is very encouraging for us parents and teachers as well. Now, adjusting the learning content to dyslexic learners in Greece. Okay. Now, Module 1 is about foundations to dyslexia and adjustive learning content to dyslexic learners. For me, if you ask me, and I'm sorry to say that, dyslexia is not theory. It's a learning difference in reality. And what works for one individual doesn't actually work for another individual. And it is essential, LEXIS does that thing because it is essential to adapt the strategies and the material to accommodate the needs, the special needs of each student. So, knowledge, the cognitive skills that the trainee will be able to receive is, first of all, to adjust learning content for dyslexic learners. That means that the content will be suitable, in other words, to present alternative methodologies and strategies, and to organize appropriate lesson plans. Also, the trainee will be able to implement alternative methodologies and to apply the multisensory instruction. I guess that you all know multisensory instruction. It's the way that the person uses all their senses. For example, dyslexic students benefit greatly from using multiple senses to reinforce learning. My son used to hold a ball, or he used to doodle on a paper. Attitudes. The trainee will be able to generalize the pre, during, and post-stage planning, lesson planning, and to use the Freire graphic organizer model. We're going to see the Freire graphic organizer moment later on, and to use alternative assessment. Exams for dyslexic learners can be a nightmare, really. They cannot grasp what it is asked out of them. They cannot understand what they need to do. And exams is a problem that really affects their psychological resilience and well-being.
Sorry for interrupting. I just want to let you know that we can see only the first slide in the edited mode. So
Really?
maybe stop sharing
Sorry.
and share again.
Yeah. I'm not sure why, because I can see my presentation. Can you see it now? Yes?
It's still the same with the edited mode.
Really? I had a problem today with the Word, the Office. I can see, I can work it, but I'm not sure what I should do in order for you to see my screen, because I can see it and I don't know what's the problem.
It's okay. Now we can see the slides.
Can you see the slides?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's okay. Everything is okay.
Terribly sorry. I'm terribly sorry, but I have a problem with the office in the morning.
I thought you were making a preface. Okay.
No, I was sorry. Life things have that problems, have all those problems. Now, strategies in working with dyslexic learners. Dyslexia must be regarded as a variation in assimilating information and abilities. Dyslexic students learn in a differentiated way, and differentiation is the key word, because you can use multiple contents and multiple purposes to reach the same result. Teachers should implement alternative methodologies, of course. The multisensory approach instigates various sensory pathways simultaneously: oral, tactile, visual, kinesthetic. My experience says that they can work with their hands while moving around and reading a text. The tasks are purposefully organized at a gradual additive pace. They can handle big chunks of information, while learners are provided with plenty of practice through traditional repetitive drills. Drilling can be actually very helpful when they need to consolidate difficult or novel concepts. As dyslexic students have difficulty in assimilated implicit learning, new grammatical and linguistic structures are presented explicitly, using clear, step-by-step explanations. And I do agree with that all the way. Can you see my screen? Can you see the way I changed my... can you see my screen?
Yes, Glika, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Adjusting requirement to dyslexic learners, elucidate or simplify written instructions. The more you explain, the better. Display a modest amount of work. They cannot handle, as I said before, too much information. Block out distracting stimuli. I'm laughing because my son has ADHD, and this coupled with dyslexia, indeed, we had to distract all stimuli out of the room. Highlight essential information. I used colored pens, and I would outline or draw things, arrows. Use a placeholder in consumable material. We would just outline what was important, provide additional practice activities, publish a glossary, make a glossary for its subject area so as to organize the different notions and the different words, especially if they are new, develop reading manuals, the reading guides, and use an audio recording device. They can do with all of that repetition. They need to hear their own voice. Use, of course, assistive technology, emerging technologies, i.e. computers can be really helpful. Okay, adjusting requirements to dyslexic learners. Implement again and again explicit teaching procedures. Explain again and again. Repeat instructions. This can, I may add that, but teachers feel sometimes very, they are very impatient, and the kid, the learner, may take that as a sign that the teacher thinks that he's mentally challenged. No, he has a problem in assimilating all the information. Provide a copy of lesson or lecture notes. A graphic organizer, mind mapping is perfect. Step-by-step instruction. Integrate verbal and visual information simultaneously. For example, if you have to teach the word able, it's nice to have an able to. Write key points or words on the chalkboard or whiteboard. And deliver balanced presentations and activities. But what really works is mnemonic instruction and daily review. They can do with lots of repetition and lots of practice and lots of drilling. Now, what is an appropriate lesson organization? Probably we need to stress the fact that there is a pre, while, and post stage of every lesson. And in the pre-reading stage, we can activate students' previous knowledge by using visual stimuli or even songs. Songs or dramatization can work miracles. And in this way, we aid dyslexic students to predict the meaning of the text and establish conceptual connections. In the while reading or in the during reading stage, the students need simple, repetitive tasks such as matching tasks, match the synonyms, match the antonyms, true or false questions, etc. In the post-reading stage, we can ask them to dramatize the text. I've seen it in practice. They are very good actors and actresses by using notes. And of course, differentiate lesson plan. Now, how can we select a text? What are the factors that should be taken into consideration? First of all, readability means that the text, lexical and structural complexity must be suitable for our students' abilities and demands. And they definitely need to appeal to their interests, to grab their attention, to focus on that. Suitability of content highlights the importance of choosing a topic that interests our students, and will encourage them to participate in activities like diagramming and dramatizing. No one wants a class full of bored students. Additionally, it must introduce students to novel concepts and ideas, but all that without placing unreasonable high demands on the prior vocabulary repertoire. Each student has their own level of being ready to do a task. Exploitability challenges the student to decipher the message of a text meaning, while also enabling them to generate transferable interpretive techniques, cognitive techniques, metacognitive techniques, strategies that will help them use in other areas as well. Yesterday, I am a participant at differentiated teaching, and I think that this is not just a craze, but it is here today. Differentiated teaching will definitely help all students, but above all, my personal opinion is that it will greatly help dyslexic students, because as Tomlinson supports, it abides by two parameters, the syllabus and the learner. Concerning the syllabus, learning is differentiated according to the content, what we choose to teach, the process, how we choose to teach it, and the final product. And regarding the learners, teaching is varied according to their readiness, how ready the student is, their interest, and their learning styles. And the key phrase here, I think, is look for the struggling students' positives, the positive points of their learning. For example, a dyslexic student who is weak at reading might be helped if he or she pantomimes the sequence of a story while another learner reads it aloud. Now, the Freyer model. I don't know how many you are aware with the Freyer model. For me, the Freyer model, I've discovered it very recently, and I was thrilled with Freyer model because you can, in the center, there is a word, for example, peace, and then it's like a mind map, definition of the word peace, the characteristics of peace for humanity, for example, examples, and non-examples. For peace, for example, it's war, I guess. But this model can I really feel that they can work, that it can work in many contexts. Now, how do we create dyslexia-friendly materials? First of all, spelling activities and alphabet teaching. Listen to the song of an alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and teach each letter separately. Use plasticine to formulate the letters, or any other flexible material that you can use as a duff or a piece of duff. Pronounce the letters sound loudly when they use their fingers to trace letters in a sandbox. I used flour. When I baked cakes, we used the flour, and he would form the letters in the flour, and then we would eat the cake. Pronounce the letters sound loudly when they use their fingers to trace letter in a sandbox, Feel the shape of the letters, thus the oral, visual, tactile, kinesthetic channels are activated. Teach dyslexics to tap their fingers or clap their hands when counting syllables, love. To draw cards by tracing letters in the air, love. And aid them to attempt to form the letters by using their hands or bodies. This can be excellent practice in class. They can form all sorts of letters. And use our hands to assist them to distinguish B from D. You know, English teachers, we work to make them feel that this is bed, but they decide to say that this is Deb. And it takes this in order to say that this is the head of the bed and this foot of the bed. So bed, no miss, it's Deb. Anyway, with some practice, they can master that skill, bed and Deb. Teaching words. Magnetic letters made of plastic and used to formulate a word, and students can pronounce each letter separately as they attach to magnetic board. And this is gamification in reality, because the teacher, the kid, plays and doesn't understand that this is a task. And they read and trace the word, the whole word. And finally, rhyming words. Teachers can hand out cards with rhyming words, bear, 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 and they can work on that. Or they can even write short poems with that technique. I'm still very worried about my presentation. Can you see the material?
Yes.
Okay, now, creating dyslexia-friendly materials. Dyslexia-friendly materials. Anyway, teaching reading. Instructors can shorten reading texts. It's a huge challenge for, I think, for a dyslexic student to present him a whole page of written work. They need pictures, and they need some placeholders, as we said before, or some highlights. And instructions can shorten reading text because it is a challenge. Use pictures of unknown lexis. Design short comprehension questions and split reading tasks. You don't, I personally couldn't use reading tasks, too many reading tasks. And teaching concepts. I think this is the older the student gets, he or she gets more abstract, gets to learn, gets to come in contact with more abstract concepts. And it can be a task, a very difficult task to introduce new ideas. Due to its ambiguity, understanding abstract concepts may be the most difficult challenge for dyslexic. By using visual organizer, mind mapping, we may assist children with classifying, matching, connecting, comparing, and contrasting topics. For instance, we ask children to draw their families, describe themselves, and talk about taking care of their bodies and health. When you get to discuss the notion of identity, I would use my ID card, and then I would talk about other things as well. I would enrich identity. In this approach, new ideas are developed based on well-established ones. I guess this is scaffolding at its best, structural approach. Assessment of dyslexic learners. They get hurt very easily. They are vulnerable. They feel that the whole world is against them, most of them. And students vary significantly in their ability to respond in different modes, to process information presented in visual or auditory formats. Now, the following accommodation, what is presented here, involves a mode of reception and expression, and it can definitely enhance students' performance. Change response mode. Provide an outline for the lesson. Take time to listen to them, I would say. Encourage use of assignment books or calendars. They need to be organized. They need to take notes down. Sometimes they just mix up all these notes. Have students turn lined paper vertically for math. It's something very simple, but it can be extremely helpful. Use again mnemonic cues to create synapses for important notions. Synapses which can easily be created when they realize that it can be very, very helpful to express themselves. Create worksheets with tiers, hierarchically. Use peer meditated learning. What they cannot learn from the teacher or the parent, they can learn it from their peers in class. And sometimes they are so stress-free that they don't realize what they've learned until they have to use it. Utilize adaptable time management. Time can be such a problem. Time is their first enemy. First and most important enemy. They feel that time is running out very fast, while for other people it is the regular, the normal time. And use assignment substitutions or adjustments. Something that doesn't work, replace, substitute with something not easier, but something different, differentiation. Assignments for dyslexic learner. Alternative assessment. They cannot handle written papers, written exams, and can prove valuable in assessing dyslexic students. Observation sheets filled in by the teacher contributes greatly to monitor the learner's performance. These records help instructors to keep track of the progress, beginning with more basic observations and finally concentrating on more particular aspects such as linguistic or syntactic shortcomings. Self-assessment can be used to aid students to gauge their own learning strategies and enhance their metacognitive skills. I know what I know. I know what and how I've got to assimilate it by enabling them to reflect on the knowledge they have acquired and the progress they've made. We can use smileys to empower dyslexic learners, smileys, thumbs, to evaluate their performance. Portfolio, where they can collect their works, which shows their progress during a preset time. What is to be included in this portfolio can either be selected by the teacher or by the student, or as a team. They can work as a team and include it. And assessing reading and cognitive skills with worksheets. Now, thank you for your attention. I don't know if you have any words. What I need to tell you is that sometimes we teachers feel that we can handle. That's off the record, but I want to thank all my fellow teachers and counselors who helped me. Because at some point, dyslexia can be a burden on the parent or on the teacher. And thank you all for creating that project. It will enormously help dyslexic students here and abroad. Thank you.
Thank you for very kind words regarding our project, and of course, thank you for sharing your knowledge and also your experience, practical experience with working with dyslexic. Are there any questions to our expert? If somebody would like to ask something or summarize, please feel free.
Well, I would like to say something. I don't have any questions, but I would like to thank Glykeria. She made a very well-rounded presentation. She presented she talked about the problems of dyslexic students, and then she proposed material, appropriate material for teaching them. These graphic organizers to organize words and new notions are very, very good. For example, Freya's model, Freya's graphic organizer, or Novak's graphic organizer, differentiation, she mentioned differentiation, multisensory approach, all these activities are really very helpful. Thank you very much, Glykeria.
I would like, you're welcome. I would like to add something. If I may say so, but their dyslexic students are really interested in technology. So what you actually do will thrill them. For example, I had many dyslexic students who found Genially, the app Genially, exciting, because the app corrects their mistakes, and they can use images, sounds, their own voice, they record their own voice, and this is assessment at its best, but at the same time, it's something funny. So they embrace emerging technologies very, very fast. And I thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Aleka, for sharing with us, and thank you all for your participation. If there are no further questions, I believe we can end our webinar. If you are interested in the topic, and as our today's expert, you believe we will create something important and useful, stay with us in touch. You can find us on Facebook, and also you can visit our website.
Of course.
So
thank you
all once again.
Chance.
Thank you all once again, and have a nice the rest of the day.
Thank you.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.